What's going on, everyone? It's Supreme Kami over here, and I'm gonna be taking a look at our last three welfare parts that are getting alteration over here. So these are here, like the one Sakura 3 custom all the way to Magna over here. Those are like the older ones. So in terms of these one up here, they're more or less like in terms of like coincide with like the collaboration. Obviously, so that's why they have their welfare alteration way ahead of like everybody else. So these right here, we have been like waiting for the older ones to get alteration, so it's finally time. So let's actually get dive in to see which part is actually good for alteration, because like do keep that in mind. If you guys have not gotten it for the first time and then right now getting it, it's gonna be a lot more harder because you are gonna need more materials. So I guess before I've been going in, let's actually take a look at what kind of material you need. So we go over to the event blueprint over here, and then I'm just gonna pick a random one over here. Let's say I want to pick up the leg of the Sakura 3 over here. You are gonna need, I think the hardest thing to kind of format is definitely gonna be this one, the middle material right there, because like the drop rate for this one in terms of the quantity is not by that much. I already have, let's say, max out multiply for the event week already, and I still only have a 93, which would not even get you, which roughly would get you 1.5 parts maxed out. So the drop rate of that is not good at all. So I do hope that maybe later on like they can just kind of fix the drop rate or even increase it by a little bit. So that's probably like the main drawbacks of like these over here. So you guys really need to pick a part that is like actually good to just kind of pick up and, you know, alterate for example. So let's actually go back into the alteration page and just kind of see what is good. I have not personally looked at it myself, so this is going to be my first time as well. So in terms of the Sakura 3, there is currently a bug in terms of like EX skill, so that is something I want to throw it to you guys right off the bat. People have tested it out, and then in terms of the damage output, it is exactly is less. It is less than what you can expect prior to alteration, so that is definitely something they might fix later on. So hopefully they do. But let's actually check out the head and see what we have here. I'm not really gonna focus too much in terms of the stat wise. I don't think they're anything comparable to the Battle Lock or the Battle Lock event parts, because they're just far more superior, right? Even the Vortex, I'm not really gonna go like to focus onto them. I think arming attraction is definitely going to be the portrait, and just gonna see if they're good enough. Just right out the bat, I feel like this is not even a good one to portrait. Like the first portrait is already bad. Second portrait, I will have to say it's bad as well, because you do have to be below 80%. So we're not looking at that. Alright, in terms of the Sakura 3 torso over here, so it's gonna be a Psycho Wave or Psycho Power over here. So this is gonna be one of those EX2 that is gonna paralyze your enemy, and I don't remember how long of a duration, or does this even do any damage. So if it does, I'm not really gonna recommend this one. I will actually recommend this one over here if I can actually find it. I think this is a better option out here, because I know for a fact that this one should hit a lot more harder per se. It's gonna be the Swablu Glaze, if I can find it. Swabby, or that's how you pronounce it, I don't know. This one over here, the Wire Claw, this is literally the same thing, but I feel like this one is more or less a better version, if you will. This one has a pretty good range in terms of a melee, so it's not bad actually. It does have an incredibly long duration when I use it. I'm not even too sure how the Sakura 3 ones is. I'm not too sure. You guys can definitely let me know what is like the time duration on that. But you know, I feel like this one without alteration should serve its job already, because this one is the main attraction is just to stun your opponent. So having it alteration does not really matter all that much, if I have to say so myself. What is it prior to alteration? I believe it's still a C power, right? Minus the piercing. A pierce. Okay, see, that is the problem here. So that's why I'm not. You do have to alterate in a sense, but if you guys do have that arm that I show you guys, I feel like that one is probably a better candidate, for example. So this is definitely a hot skill for me in terms of alterating it. I feel like the stun property prior to alteration should be sufficient enough. So unless there is like a hidden, you know, extension to the like the duration is a little bit longer, that I don't know. But other than that, I feel like this one does not need some alteration. Alright, moving on to the arms over here. So this one's going to be the high bomb. So what you basically do, you're going to launch like a few projectile that is going to slowly kind of flow to the direction that is intended, I guess, and then it's gonna explode when it connects to your enemy. But I will have to say this EX skill here is a little bit tricky, just because of the fact that when it does, like when you do fire it or when you do use it, it flows really slow. So let's say your opponent kind of backs away and you just not connect your hit. I will have to say this is more or less like a suicidal like EX skill to be using. You gotta be right up in your enemy before using it, but you don't take any damage. So that is the thing. I feel like prior to alteration is sufficient enough already, because it does come with B power on a spot, right? Yeah, it does come with B power. The only thing you're gonna get a major improvement is definitely gonna be the piercing. I don't think the piercing all enough makes that much of a difference anyways, unless you do want to like pierce through like your enemy defensive line. But other than that, I feel like prior to alteration is completely fine again. So this is definitely not a part to kind of focus on in terms of alterating it. So yeah, moving on to the leg. This one I have mentioned already. This one does go, I believe, prior to alteration is B power as well, if I recall. Let me just kind of take a quick look, right, just in case. Yeah, B power. So again, you don't really need the alteration. I feel like just having the plus power, like going from B to B plus, doesn't make like a whole lot of difference. And do keep that in mind, right now it's currently bugged, so you can't really output more than what is prior to alteration. So this one does sit pretty fast if I remember, so it's definitely not a bad EX skill. So I think right now, like, the most important thing is definitely trying to see if you guys can get like any of these good parts to, let's say, parts trade level 10 or EX skill level 10, because like once they're gone for the remaining of the weeks, we don't know when it's going to be the next time they release these welfare alteration part, like the welfare parts right here. So that's why. But in terms of life for now, I don't think it's good for alteration. Let's say you do have it maxed out. That is definitely something you guys can wait, maybe after the fix update or whatever occasion that might be. But in terms of the backpack over here, okay, so this one does give you a piercing up by 22%, and then this one is going to be great for anyone that is using a defender job, because that will allow you to buff EX skill time by 22%. But buffing the timer itself does not really matter all that much. It's probably one of the more slept on trade, which I don't think that many people use. It really depends. If you guys are purely like a supporting type unit that offers buff as a utility wise, having a buff timer up definitely helps, because that will allow you to sustain your whatever buffer you guys have for your ally a lot more longer, I guess. But not to warrant to kind of alterate, I guess, in my opinion. Just not that usable at all. You have to be a defender job, and then the first portrait is not even that good as well. So probably another skip for me personally. Alright, moving into the beam rifle now, or the beam saber. In terms of the beam saber, the ST, okay, so this one is definitely not a bad option if you're talking about defender job, getting a melee power boost by 30%. But I feel like the first portrait is just outright bad. It makes me not even want to alterating it, just because I know deep down, like, looking at this portrait, the first portrait is gonna be really sad. So probably gonna be another skip for me as well. I don't really think this one deserves alteration at all. Moving into the beam rifle now. So when your shot defense is set below 6,000, enemy EX power boost by 25%, as well. Second portrait, shooting power boost by 30%. I don't know when is, like, what kind of scenario will you have like less than what, 6,000 shot defense? I think that is like nearly impossible, right? I don't know. Like, even if you're talking about like strictly melee based, like, alright, you know what they did wrong here? So this is using on a shooting, right? But like, if you talk about using this in on a shooting based unit, you would definitely have higher than the 6,000 defense right there. So I think this is like troll. Yeah, I don't see a point in alterating this one at all either. So I think overall, I don't think there's any sufficiently good parts to even alter from the Sakura 3 custom here. I think all of them were just pretty bad, if I have to say so myself. Leg EX skill, I definitely have high hopes for that. I think it's actually a pretty good EX skill. Just unfortunate the fact that right now there's currently a bug. So yeah. Alright, moving on to the Command Gundam over here. So the Command Gundam is actually a tribute offered to the Command Quanta that we have to date. This over here. This backpack, if you guys take a look, does it resemble anything to you guys? As it spin around over here, let me do know. But yeah, moving on to the head for now. Let's see what we have. Gundam and long range over here, huh? Okay, so we're not even gonna look at that. It's just awfully bad having like a flat. They dare to put a flat number on a second portrait on like right now. That's that's kind of sad, I guess. In terms of this one over here, this is actually not bad, I guess. This one just comes in at a B plus power. I think at the end of the day, it's more or less, do you guys like SD as generally for you to even alterate this part right here, or even getting it max level 10? It's not a bad EX skill, but I remember, let me do take a look, like what is it prior to alteration. Just want to take a look. C power, huh? So you would, if you do want to do like more power, you definitely would have to alterate it, because you would gain a few more let's say damage modifier. So it's not bad actually. If you guys do like the SD knuckle, it's definitely a good choice, I guess, in terms of this one. In terms of the arm, let's see what the arm has in store for us over here. So with tech attribute, shooting guide boosted by 40%, while one enemy shotgun cooldown reduced by 50%. Okay, so I don't know if I even like the setup of this portrait right here. The second portrait is definitely good if you do want like an immediate cooldown. I feel like this is definitely a solid part to be using, I guess. But you do have to shoot down one enemy, and then if there's only one enemy to fight with, then you can't really use the second portrait. So this is really this armor here is really more or less on like a situational base. Some instances it can be good depending on what kind of needs do you want at the moment for this one to kind of proctor in. But do keep that in mind. Once you do kill one enemy, you just lose this right out of the bat. So I just kind of guess it's not really that good. I don't know. So probably like a skip for me personally. Not really too much to look into it for sure. Moving on to the Lego here. So let's see what we have. So we have one of those like long shooter enemy melee power reduced by 25%, and then this one is fighting against type neutral over here. So type whatever whatever build you guys are looking at, and then if you do have this portrait, for example, then after only when you're fighting type neutral, that is when you're gonna get that EXQ power boosting, which is like, this is way too restrictive, I would have to say. So this is probably not a good part to alter at all, I would have to imagine, because like there is, I want to say there's like what 75% chance of not even getting proctor, because like you will be fighting either type, right? So even if you fight a non-attribute, you will still not get this right here. So pretty sad actually. So I feel like the leg is not really worth mentioning in a way. It's just not good overall. Instead of the backpack, this one I'm pretty sure prior to alteration should be doing B power already, so not really necessary for alteration again, I will have to say. In terms of the command knife over here, let's see what we have. Command knife over here. So this is another SD attack, and this one is literally the same as the torso. So I feel like this one, I feel like having on a melee weapon is not that bad. So I feel like this one may be a good option if you do want like a SD knuckle. I'm pretty sure it hits a smidge less than this one. If you want to include, let's say, piercing wise over here. So this one is not a bad option, right? It's definitely not. Yeah, this one is always good, right? This reducing your enemies. This one is shot attack. Let me take a look at this one. Is this one for melee specifically then? Yeah, so this one is more or less, if you guys do use both these together, they do kind of coincide and make things a lot more easier. If you just purely want to reduce your enemy, like your attacks and that, that's not bad actually. Not gonna lie right now, it's not bad. This one's gonna be the dual wave over here, so it's gonna be A plus B minus. That's a quite interesting combo. B power with a pierce, I would give full confidence it should do good enough damage, I would have to say. Obviously it's not gonna be like a bajillion damage, but it's not that bad, right? This definitely has its own perks into it, so it's not bad, I guess. Moving on to the what is it? This is the what is it? Gatling kind of style type. Okay, what attack and physical, but I feel like the first portrait is just kind of bad already. It does not really warrant me to like, oh, I should alterate the back as well to gain this one over here. I feel like this one is just not good at all. So I think all in all, like there's nothing to really recommend. Again, like maybe the torso wise, but other than that, all the other ones are just kind of like meh. I don't see like, yeah, I don't really see anything that's worthwhile to kind of alterate this time around. Like, why? Did they put all the effort into the battle suit? Like the battle suit, they definitely killed it. But like looking at these right here, they're like, I don't know. All right, so last we're gonna be looking at the Magna Knife over here. So let's see what this one has in terms of stat wise. Stat wise, not really too important. So this one's one of those situations again. So this one is locked into a middle shooter over here, but this one is actually gonna be reducing shot spread by 15%. So this is we talk about the spread wise over here. I don't know if I don't. This one I feel like it's more or less for like EXQ that is like shotgun EXQ wise, because like if you use any EXQ from a shotgun at a long range, it's not gonna connect. So by having this one over here, it just reduces like what kind of like how wide of an angle that is gonna shoot. So it's not bad. It's just more of like a gimmicky things that it's not really too relevant in today's meta, I guess, unless you guys are really going out of your way to make some sort of arrangement right there. But yeah, other than that, I don't see a good like I don't see too much of a high hopes of altering ahead at all. All right, moving on to the torso right now. In terms of the torso, I see the first portrait and I'm just kind of wondering, it's kind of bad already. But in terms of the second portrait, it definitely makes up for it, because this is going to give you an EXQ CD reduced by 20% when you have, let's say, Transformer active as a word tag. Transformer is definitely a really niche option in terms of like running in any build. So good luck to you guys out there who is using this chest right at this exact moment. I just feel like building around a Transformer, then PHP, and then having it work with all the other part can be a struggle. It may not be something that you can actually do. I definitely have not tried it out, but for those who are currently using, let's say, Transformer, this is definitely going to be a good part for you guys to just kind of reduce your EX skill by 20% right there. It's not bad. Like, just having that, I feel like it raises the value by a lot already. So yeah. Moving on to the arm now. So this is going to be the plasma claw over here. So this one's doing B plus B plus, so it's pretty much the same as what we have seen in terms of like looking at what was the one we look at in terms of looking at the command Gundam right there. So prior to alteration, which do I even have? I do actually. So let me see. No, it's not this one. It's the arm. Do I have the arm? Yes. So prior to alteration, we are looking at B plus B plus already. So there is literally no point in altering it, is it now? Yeah, there's no point, right? Let me double check once again. Yeah, there's no point of altering it. It stays the same power, but underneath, like when you actually try this Z skill, I'm pretty sure they may or may not boost it by a little bit, but I feel like that's not alterating. It's completely fine because like it's giving up the same piercing and power, so there's really nothing to kind of worry about on this one again. Or alright, move on to the leg. Let's see what we have. So we have a photon beam or photon bomb over here. So launch a photon bomb and swirl into the lower half of your body. Okay. What is it? D pierce and B power, B plus power. Like I said again, this is probably going to be a B power prior to alteration, so you're not losing out that much if you don't alterate it. It's completely fine. I feel like if you guys want to grind out the part right now and want to alterate any of these parts later on, that is completely fine because you don't need any like specific L badges. For example, all you're gonna need is a blue alteration tool, which you can accumulate crew credits when you guys do let's say crew multi-missions. That will allow you to get, you know, just those awakening or that specific alteration tool for that. So I think the most priority is definitely trying to get the part you want to begin with, but looking so far, I don't think there's anything too impressive to kind of recommend. So why why is that the case? So the leg is not going to be a up for alteration in my case as well. So okay, so looking at this very last one, and I am already disappointed in terms of the last portrait. So this one is when all three composites in a squad are the speed. So this one is solely wanting wanting you to run a speed attribute build, which is probably not too inclusive again. So I think all in all, maybe the leg. Not is it the leg? What was it? What we looking for that has this one. I feel like the torso is definitely the only one I would recommend. I think the other one just not that they're awful, but whatever the portrait was not too relevant in what we need to build nowadays. So I think overall, like this battle route is definitely not good at all. I think they definitely put all the attention into the battle luxury, because like this week around we are in a hectic week, because next week around we are getting the version 3.2 update already, and like dropping all this right now, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like so many contents to just gonna go over. But with that being said, that is gonna be pretty much it. Don't start just my recommendation. Do let me know. Are you guys gonna be altering any of these Sakura 3 parts, Command Gundam, as well as the Magna Knife over here? So with that being said, I'll catch you guys all on the next one.